Lime Ricky.
All right, time for something heavy outside our Beacon Hill studio. Peter Kadzis, Cosmo Macero, they are the heavy hitters. Both of you either live or spend a lot of time in the city of Boston. So let's talk about the Amy Lord case as this thing continues to evolve and devolve in some cases. A demotion of a detective yesterday, a little hearing in South Boston to try and calm people's fears, women not going out. What do you make of all this, Cosmo?
I mean, just on the public safety issue, it's a reminder. I don't live in the city anymore. I used to, but I live in the suburbs, and I still reminded my wife this morning at 6:15, hey, you know what? Be careful. Goes out running. Be careful. So at the very least, it is a terrifying reminder to all that things happen wherever you are, so, and you got to look out. That's one impact I think we're all dealing with.
Well, public discipline in the Boston Police Department is very rare, so that gives you an indication of how serious this is. The big question is, does this become an issue in the mayor's race? For that to happen, it would have to be proven or established that this transcends the police department and somehow goes into the district attorney's office. I haven't seen any indication of that.
I think you're onto something here, and I think the only way this doesn't become one of the three major issues in the mayor's race is if Ed Davis is somehow able to keep control of this thing and people still have confidence in him.
Yeah, look, right now we have a legitimate sort of public scare. Do we have a public crisis in everyday public safety? I would say no. And if we did, I think things would be very different in the mayor's race. But it's a big scare, and I think that's where it stands right now.
What's interesting is, by comparison, there is a crisis in Roxbury, Mattapan, parts of Dorchester, with the serial gunplay and shootings there. And I wonder how long it's going to take for representatives of the African American and minority community to raise that issue.
All right, topic number two. You're both Catholics, or have some Catholic upbringing in anyway. The Pope's comments yesterday, Pope Francis, quote, if a person is gay and seeks the Lord and has goodwill, who am I to judge? How shocked were you to see these comments coming from the Pope, Peter?
I wasn't shocked at all, because this Pope has from day one been walking down a different path. He hasn't changed church teaching in this, but his concerns lie outside what I'm sure he would consider petty bourgeois concerns. He is a much more revolutionary figure whose real interest is economic justice around the world.
On top of everything else, he's a brilliant politician. 8 years ago, he endorsed and supported a policy against gays as priests, and no one today is calling him a flip-flopper or anything like that. So he's a brilliant politician in terms of how he's presented this, and I recognize that immediately, because he's dramatically changing his position, his personal position, and that's sort of where it stands.
So it is possible at some point we might have a gay priest. There will be no woman priest, however. He slammed the door shut on that one.
I wouldn't hang by my toenails about a gay priest at any time in the near.
But at least he opened a window there.
An outwardly gay priest.
Lastly, you guys saw the story yesterday. Eliot Spitzer had admitted on television he will not be voting for Anthony Weiner in the mayor's race. Leads to this front page of the New York Post, pot meet kettle.
Yeah, hypocrisy in all forms is always ripe for lampooning, and I think the Governor Spitzer is a victim of his own hypocrisy.
Well, I was never a fan of Spitzer as Attorney General. I always thought he was overrated. But I happened to see this Chris Matthews episode, and Spitzer can honestly claim that he was a victim of the press. Listen, I never liked Spitzer, as I said, but his return to good standing, I think, has been executed in good faith. Matthews just would not let him off the hook.
He still answered. The follow-up should have been, you're going to vote for yourself, but he didn't.
You're right. Quickly. It's a simple question. Who are you voting for? Are you voting for the guy for mayor? So we didn't let him off the hook, but it's a pretty simple question.
And he answered it.
Well, he knew. He knew it was a gotcha question.
And he got him. Peter Kadzis, Cosmo Macero, they're the hitters. Fox 25 News at 8 starts right now.